Hey,
Booyah.
friends. Guess who has service? I'm going to jinx myself. Watch.
Yeah.
Sandy.
Better be careful, Sandy.
You'll find me in the comments, kids.
So yeah, that was a bite last night, Sandy. I was like, wait, what's going? And then when I was like, oh man, I wanted her on this episode. I go, you wanted to be in there too, and it was
I
like,
did. Okay, so I love all of our guests, but last night and tonight, I'm just like, okay, please, internet gods, do not fail me.
Right.
I know you were so excited last night for them, and then even so for everyone after the show ended, even we were talking with Sandy, and she was like, I hope this better not do this tonight, because she was really excited about meeting our guest tonight and talking with him. We all are actually. We're all like,
yeah, we're like super hyped, and we have like so many questions, and we're like, we gotta
I'm scared I'm gonna forget.
Save it for the show. Save it for the show.
So I'll get to it later, but when I first met or heard about our guest, I was like, but we'll get to that more later. Anyway, Joe, how was your day?
So today, what I do? I went to work at the normal time. Oh, but first,
11:30.
Okay,
1:30.
He's close, but I got my hair cut, and it's been a little bit since I got my hair did, and I got a new person. So the thing is, with my hair, and my stylist has told me this, they're like, my hair is hard to cut because it's just straight. It's just straight out, and so she was having some problems with it, and luckily, product. No, I didn't have any product in this morning, so this is different. But no, luckily the stylist that usually cuts my hair was able to help out the young lady that was cutting my hair. So, and he's like, "Don't worry about it. It'll take some time before you get used to his hair." And I was like, "Wait, is that a good thing or is that a bad thing?" But
so what you're saying is, it took two people to cut your hair.
Yeah, it did. It did.
It takes two to make a thing go right.
Mm-hmm.
It takes two to make a thing go wrong.
Yeah. And then went to work, typed up a couple of emails.
Strongly worded emails.
I could feel the thumps of those keyboards falling down up here. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. And then this evening, I got to shoot a Texas Tech senior.
Nice.
And
what?
So the cool thing is, she had her crew with her. Her glam squad or hype squad with her.
Cool.
And so she had like 3 people with her. And I was like, hey. So I took this one picture and it's like, hey, check this out. And they're like, oh, snap. And then, it was like having a hype team. It was like, it's always a good feeling when they're like, oh, man, that's an awesome picture. So that was cool. I think I'm going to require people to have a glam or hype squad with them.
Joe.
And just make sure that when I take the pictures, even how bad they are, they still have it. Yes, Sandy.
Okay, have you watched Say Yes to the Dress? Because they're like pumped to have their bridesmaids there, and they're going to be all excited, and they're like, well, that's ugly.
Yeah. Or the mom who's like, your tattoo's still showing.
Yeah.
She's like, everything is based on that. We don't allow tattoos in the whatever faith. And
what?
Yeah, don't allow the hype.
Okay, so that's that's
Joe.
the wedding stuff, though. The wedding stuff, everybody has their opinion, and
fair enough.
Yeah. So
okay. Hey, good luck, sucker. Don't say I didn't tell you.
Right. And I was able to fit in a nap today. Hashtag nap together 6 foot apart. It was a good one. It was a good man. When you wake up and it's like drool, I'm just like, that was a good nap.
So you know what he's talking about, right? I know,
you know what I do.
Priscilla said that's cool, and she said she watches Say Yes to the Dress.
I catch clips. I don't know why they started showing up in my YouTube one day, and I was like, "What the heck?"
Don't lie.
So no, I watched
prepping for his daughters.
There's an algorithm for a reason.
After the tattoo episode, I was like, okay, no more. So I hit that little button where it's like, "Don't suggest this to me ever again," or whatever. So I was like, I don't even know why that's in my. It's interesting to a point, but it's not something I want to waste my time. Yeah, I'm like, no, I'm fine with my news, politics, and sci-fi stuff. I'm okay with all that. And baking. Cooking.
So, Sandy, how was your day?
Blackstone.
So my day was super productive. Like, I have a little checklist, and I checked everything off today. And I rolled out of my office at 4:00, and I thought, man, I have enough time to run. So So got home and I went running, and in the middle of my run, I get a phone call, and I'm like, and it's Mr. Pineapples. He's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like,
I thought she was
"I'm
running for her
fine."
life, man.
I know. I'm like, I'm just a little out of shape right now.
But yeah, I was really scared for a moment because it really sounded like
Yeah.
worrisome. I was like,
Which rule is that? Rule number 2 in Zombieland is cardio.
there you go.
Yeah. And then I sent Jamie a picture if y'all want to just pull it up just for little giggles. I had shrimp tacos for dinner because I was doing my homework for tonight.
Joe, you got to get rid of the brand. So I can
Okay.
pull up the screen.
Let me see if I can find it real fast. No, I'm too slow. Where'd it go? Where is it at?
Not
It's the
only
one
did I
that's
have
highlighted.
shrimp tacos, I had shrimp pineapple tacos.
Ooh,
Oh my
And
goodness.
That's how
then
you
had
roll.
Oh my
Then had
goodness.
some black beans, avocados. So
Man,
good.
that does look good though. That was that homemade?
That was homemade, yes. Because
Okay.
here in Pflugerville, we don't have any restaurants that we can that us GFDF people can go eat.
Oh yeah.
Leave it down for a second, Joe. I want to when she's
Okay.
done. I want to share my other picture.
Okay, good, because that's it. No, I don't know
You
how to
can't
turn
find
it
Right?
back on
Like I
anyway.
can't
So.
put it back. But anyway, so my day was awesome. It was productive, and I enjoyed finding some motivation to run in the evening.
Awesome.
Jamie, how was your day?
My day was bittersweet. So I got a good talking to at my job today, guys, because I have not been doing as good as I thought I was and wanted to do.
Oh,
So I was like, man, and I had just gotten this negative feedback on Monday, and I
Mhm.
was like, are you freaking kidding me, man? So I got some punches in the guts today, and I was like, so now I've got to figure out how to navigate that. But it was not a good feeling.
you better quit talking down to people.
Oh, I hate that, Jamie.
Yeah. So,
Right?
but we had a really fun time last night. And so some of the highlights though for today was William reached out to me and put me in contact with the composer of Alone this morning, and I was like,
Sweet.
dude, I was like,
Awesome.
dude, let me fangirl real quick. I'm so appreciative that you did what you did on the film. Thank you for really putting some effort in there, and it sounded great. I loved it. I enjoyed it. But anyway, yeah, I do a show, and then I went into my whole suds spill right there, and I was like, okay, so. And he responded back saying, yes, I'd love to come on. So I was like, yes.
Sweet.
That was cool. And then Mr. Tim, he showed me this. He was making this. He's like, this was inspired me. Now, I don't know if you can tell, guys, but I can't tell what that is. I get this black hole, but I was like, okay.
Is it a mirror? It looks like almost a mirror.
I'm not sure. So I was like, but he was like, I was thinking about auctioning this off, or giving it to you so you can auction off for the Pineapple Project. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet, man. I was like,
That
cool,
is
yeah.
so awesome of Tim. I just want to hug him.
He's such a great guy, right? Well, then he reaches back out to me and he says, so here it is, finished. And I was like, what? Boom.
Oh my gosh, that is okay. So see, in my picture, I didn't even see, but does he have like little stars looking in there?
Yes, there's stars in the background.
Wow.
That is so cool. I love it. That's a very unique art piece.
It is. I didn't know that man was this talented. I knew he was talented, but good Lord.
We hang around too many talented people. We need to find some dumb people to hang out with.
Right. Well, you know
have no
what, though?
talent.
It's talented and generous. Like, he thought
Yes.
of us to do that for us.
Yeah, that was really
That's
cool.
So
awesome.
he's going to drop it off this weekend to me, and when we do the Pineapple-thon, I'll put that up so that we can show it off and see who can walk away with it. I'll ship it down there to Texas if anyone, if you put it on there. But I mean, it's pretty mesmerizing. It's pretty cool, man.
I love it. That's
Yeah,
pretty
that is
amazing.
pretty cool.
So
Thank you, Tim.
Hey,
yeah,
Jamie.
thanks, Tim. Yeah.
Who do we have on the show today?
All right, guys. So I don't know if you could get who we have coming on tonight from the promo that I made. I try to make it, pretty ambiguous, pretty just, what's going on here. But I actually included who's coming on tonight. So we have a great guest tonight. I'll give you his name. His name is Ryan Curtis. And he lives up here not with me, but up here in my neck of the woods. And let me tell you what. So he actually runs a lot of businesses. a friend of ours who came on the show back in season 1, Mark, the card guy, he told me, he says, "Hey, Jaime,
The
I
Pokemon
know
guy.
yeah,
The
I have this
$45,000
guy.
car.
I have this guy who I think would be really interesting for your show." And I was like, "Oh, that was really nice, man. Thank you." He goes, "He does this, 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 and this, but he owns the largest shrimp farm in North America."
Holy smokes! And
He was like, I
and
was like,
not the shrimp farm that we're thinking of.
"No, he raises shrimp." Baby shrimps in the water, freshwater, seawater. We're gonna get him all to talk about that, but he has a shrimp farm, and then I was like, "What?" And I was not taken aback by it. I was like, "Oh my gosh, yes, we absolutely need to have a shrimp farm guy on the show." And so he put me in contact. I reached out to him, talking, figuring things out, calendars, worked it out. Finally, get him tonight, and it was all like, I cannot wait for you all to get to meet him and hear from him. And so, if you have questions about shrimp, start throwing them in the comments, because we, the three of us, have been so hyped up to talk.
We're so excited.
Yes, we just want to know everything about this. And so,
Yeah,
he's going to share with us about the shrimp. He's going to share with us some of the stuff that he also does, because he's a pretty interesting guy. This is a guy that probably can come on a few times, guys. So,
cool.
Anyway, without further ado, please help me welcome Ryan Curtis to the show.
Woo-hoo!
Welcome to the show, Ryan. How are you?
Good. How you guys doing?
We are doing good and so excited to talk to you.
I like his name too. Look at the name, serial entrepreneur.
I had to make it fancy, so.
You got to be a little excited though, because she,
I know,
when she's
it's all I saw was cereal, and I'm like, yes.
a serial killer. Oh, wait,
Right.
No.
I'm not kidding.
that would be really weird. I would be really scared if that's what that.
I wouldn't, Ryan.
Thanks for good TV.
Right.
So Ryan, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself first?
Sure. So I am, like you said, I'm up in your neck of the woods. I was born and raised here in Bloomington, Illinois. Been here pretty much my whole life. Went to college here, had jobs here locally in the surrounding community, and always kind of had a interest for business ever since I was in high school, and kind of blossomed off into several different areas of business that don't necessarily relate with each other at all. Not even close. So I went to college here at Illinois State University, graduated in you could guess, business administration. And I in high school, I started my first business, which was basically I just bought and sold stuff on eBay for people. Because I was just like, I was this young kid, and I was like, I got to start this business. I love the idea of making money and helping people out. So I was like, okay, I'll sell stuff for the people on eBay. And I was like, oh, that's sounds like it's a good business idea, easy to do. And so I made this huge website. I was in this business class. I think it was my junior year of high school, and my teacher, kind of helped me start it all up and told me what to do, and had this huge website with all these pages on there. And I pretty much did absolutely nothing with the business. Didn't sell anything at all.
Really?
Yeah. So
Crash and burn that first business.
Say, like,
At least you got that out of the way. You got it out of the way.
And from there, I've kind of been always a sports guy. So I played high school golf, and about a year after I got out of high school, my high school golf coach and I started a business called Max Performance Golf. And basically we build like these custom golf clubs. We have like this cool 18-foot enclosed trailer. Basically I can like build a golf club from like components from start to finish right there on the back of this trailer, pretty much anywhere in the country that we can get the trailer.
Really?
We still do that to this day. And that was kind of my first real taste of business. I went out and got a business loan. I was this young kid, and I also, I guess backtracking a little bit, I started working at a bank in high school too. And I started out as a teller, and I was just working there. It was my senior year of high school, and I would get off of school at like 2:00 or something, and I'd go work from like 2:30 to 5 till the bank closes as a teller in the drive up. So I did that for a while, and then eventually the bank was like, hey, you kind of seem like you're interested in business. Our vice president of commercial lending needs a loan assistant. You think you could help him out or be interested in doing that? And I'm like, yeah, that sounds cool, business related. Beats the hell out of being a teller stuck in the drive up all day. So I was like, yeah,
No.
So I ended up working for him for about 4 or 5 years, but in the whole span of doing that, I really learned a lot about business, because when you're a banker and you're like, lending people money, they come to you, they show you all these cool like financials and like business plans and what they're going to do to make $1 million, right? Or not make $1 million in some cases.
Right.
But it gives you a really cool perspective, because I get to like take a peek into like personal information of all these people's lives, because obviously they want money from the bank, right? So the bank's going to ask them pretty much anything. There's no off limit question. It's how
Right.
you pay us and all this stuff, and it just gives you opportunity to see how the millionaires make money and how they also lose money. What they do right, but they also do horribly wrong. And the cool thing is you might have 10 people that do the exact same thing, and then everyone does something a little bit different. So you find everybody's strengths and weaknesses, and when you're as passionate about small business and like entrepreneurship as I am, that's so exciting for me, because I can say, okay, I know this guy did this really well, so I'm going to try that, but he also didn't do this well, but this guy did, so maybe I should do a blend of both of those things.
Nice.
And that's really what kind of blossomed me into doing all these different businesses. But backtracking, so I started working for that guy, and then I had this golf business with my golf coach, and I was like, okay, we need this cargo trailer we need to purchase, this big 18-foot trailer so we can put stuff inside of it to build golf clubs and travel around the country.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get a loan. I was probably 19 at the time, and I was like, I need about a $10,000 loan to buy this trailer, and I don't have any money to my name. I don't come from a background of business people or people that went to college or have money or anything like that. This is like foreign to the whole concept here. So I was talking to my dad, and I was like, we should find a way if we can do this. I really want to partner with Mike. He's my golf coach, and I think this is really good business. My dad was like, yeah, you should go for it. So went to the bank, and luckily enough, they were like, hey, yeah, we'll give you a loan for it. We know who you are. We know where you work. So if you don't pay that,
Right.
We'll just garnish your wages.
Yeah.
like that. So that was a real blessing. They kind of gave that to me on a whim, and that kind of started out that first business with my golf coach, Mike. And from there, we did, several different things. Like we kind of blossomed off, and we started running like golf course pro shops. So like you go to a golf course, and they have like, you walk in, and you got to pay to go play on the golf course. And then
Right.
the pro shop is just like all their equipment. They have shirts, golf balls, all
Right.
bags, all that stuff. And I came up with the idea, and I was like, you know what? We'll go to these golf courses, and I'll say, hey, I'll stock everything inside of your store. You won't have to pay anything, because if they're going to buy all these shirts and
Right.
golf balls, they have to front the money to pay for it to put it on the shelf, right?
Right.
So I said, you know what? I'll front the money to do that, and then we'll split the profit. And I kind of targeted like smaller golf courses that weren't doing so well, or didn't, not like these luxury courses, just kind of like that one out in the middle of nowhere, out in the middle of the cornfield.
Right.
They had like 10 people that played there a day, and I was like, yeah, we'll try it. We'll start there. It's a little cheaper to do that. So we did that for a long time, and it worked out. And then I kind of, again, just kind of blossomed my idea of getting into other businesses. And so when we started doing that, and then I think the next business we got into would be the shrimp farm.
So yeah, let's talk about that one.
Tell me more.
So the golf business was doing okay, and then again, I just have this itch for business. I'm really passionate. You ask me what I do in the free time, like talking on like a show like this. Like this is, I guess, considered my free time, right? Because I decided to come on here. This is what I love to do anyway. I love to talk about business, not necessarily my business, but it's
Right.
just what I would do normally anyway. So I'm just really passionate about it. But
Yeah.
I can hear it for sure.
yeah. So Max Performance Golf, and then I kind of was at the same time I was working at a local aquarium store in Bloomington, Illinois, and basically it was this it's like a pet store, but it was only fish tanks and only like rocks and gravel, everything for fish. And it was this one guy
I
that
get my
ran
rats
it.
from, actually.
What's that?
That's where I get my rats from.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
And he wasn't doing so good in his business, and I reached out to him, and I was like, hey, I'm really interested in fish tanks. I think I had gotten like a fish tank that Christmas or something for my mom and dad, and I was like, it'd be really cool if I could like work for you, anything I could do. And he's like, well, I don't really like changing water or scrubbing algae off the tanks. You can come do that once a week. And I was like, well, that sounds great. Sign me up for that.
Your enthusiasm is pretty high.
Yeah, here I am hauling buckets of water like across the room, trying to dump them in a toilet, not spill them everywhere on the floor, changing fish filters, nasty stuff, cleaning tanks, and but it's stuff I wanted to do. It kind of got me in the door to talk to this guy because again, I just loved business, so I was like, owning a fish store sounds cool. Like this is what he does for a living. How can I do that? That sounds great. And I can hire some kid to do this later on, so I don't have to scrub this nasty algae. So that sounds like a good idea,
right?
But I worked for him for a year and a half, and became pretty good friends with him. Found out he wasn't doing so well with his business, and the business wasn't really making a lot of money. It was just kind of breaking even. So again, being business minded, I was like, how can this guy make more money? I was like, what can I do to help him? So I go online, I'm Googling stuff, and I'm like, he's got to carry something cool, like a stingray, a shark, or, something in the door. And I Google it, and I'm like, pet shrimp. I'm like, that's weird. What's a pet shrimp? I've never even heard of a pet shrimp in my life. So I go on there, and I got on this place called theshrimpfarm.com, and I was like, well, this looks really cool. So I started looking at all these shrimp, and I'm like, you can get 10 of them for like $28. And I scroll down a little bit more, and all of a sudden I see this one, and it's like one shrimp, $100. And I'm like, okay, this thing must be huge. I click on it, max size, like 1.5 inches. And I'm like, what in the world? I'm like, that is crazy, but it looks so cool. So anyway, I go back to this guy at his store, and I'm like, I have the coolest thing that you would want to buy. I'm like, you're going to want to buy this. And I'm like, pet shrimp. And he looks at me, and he's like, nobody is going to want pet shrimp, Ryan. And he starts going off on this rant about how they had these pink guppies back in the day. They were supposed to be the craze, and they didn't work out. And I was like, okay. He's like, I'm not interested in that. You'll never make any money doing that. I'm not interested. I'm like, okay, no problem. So I'm scrubbing tanks and cleaning fish filters, hauling buckets of water, and then kind of just being stubborn more or less and just business oriented, because I was like, okay, I don't really care what he thinks. I'm going to go on this website. I'm going to ask this guy if he sells to pet stores so I can get a price list, because I'm going to bring him back a price list and just give it to him anyway, even though he doesn't make any money.
Right.
I reached out to this website, and I was like, hey, I have this pet store that I work at, and do you guys wholesale pet shrimp to pet stores? They were like in Kentucky at the time or something, where the company was based out of. And I was, and then they, a couple days later, they emailed me back, and they're like, hey, Ryan, no, we don't wholesale pet shrimp, but we are actually selling the business. You know anybody that's interested?
Maybe. I'm
So how much do you make? What do you want for it? What are the details? So we started talking, and it was like it made pretty good money, like surprisingly good money for what you would think. And what he was asking at the time wasn't for me it was a whole lot of money, don't get me wrong, but for how much it made, I was like, well, that seems kind of low, but okay, sure. So I was like, I think I'm in. So then I tell my dad about it. I'm like, hey Dad, there's this cool pet shrimp, and it makes a lot of money. It's it's kind of crazy, and this is what he wants for it. And my dad's kind of looking at me like, I don't know a damn thing about shrimp, and I don't know why. He's like, all the pet shrimp you bought in your tank in your bedroom died in like 3 days. Why would you? This isn't a good idea. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, whatever. But let's look at it a little bit. It's a business. And so we start digging through it, and then he kind of like turns the corner, and he's like, oh, it's not a bad idea. This guy's making pretty good money, and kind of figure out how the business works. Because again, outside of the golf business, I had never really been exposed to business. I don't have anybody telling me like, oh, you should risk this first, or have this in your business plan, or stuff like that. I was just winging it, man. Fake it till you make it. And,
a little bit.
We don't know. We don't know anything about that.
Exactly. So we learned how it worked, and it seemed like a good idea. So he wants quite a bit of money for it, more than I had for sure. And the problem is, me and my family, we don't have the money to buy this business, but it's not unobtainable, but at the same time, we sure as heck don't have the money to buy it, right? So I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll go to the bank I work at and say, hey, here's a business I want to buy again. And last time I was start a business, this time I want to buy a business, and see what he says, because I've been working for my boss at the time, who was the commercial vice president of commercial lending, and so I go to him, and I'm like,
that's
hey,
straight to the top there.
I'm his right-hand man at the moment. I'm doing all the paperwork and stuff, so I'm with him all day, and he knows who I am. He knows how passionate I am, and I was like, hey, I want to buy this business, and I don't really know how to do that because I'm not, financially sound enough to do that. And here's what I need for it. Here's how much it makes. I knew exactly what he was going to need to look at because I'm his loan assistant. So I had all that ready, right? And I give it to him, and I'm like, here's everything. I'm just going to lay it on the table. I want to buy this. We wouldn't normally do this, but I just want to ask. Because if I don't ask, there's never a shot I didn't ask in the first place. So, he's like, okay, I'll look it over. I'll talk to the, head honchos, the president, vice president, all that stuff at the bank, and we'll get back to you. I'm like, okay, just let me know if you have questions. And, a few days go by, and I think at that time I was mainly working for him, but I was still kind of helping the teller line. So I was back at the teller line in the drive-up. I remember sitting there, staring out the window, and then he kind of creeps up behind me and scares the crap out of me because I didn't see him coming. But he's like, hey, Ryan, all right, so here's the deal. We wouldn't do this normally. You don't have anything like collateral, right? The bank always wants something to secure the loan. So I'm like, do you have anything that you could give to us, or does your mom and dad? Because I had to show them everything I had, and I didn't have anything. I had my shoes,
my Nintendo.
Exactly. Will you take a Wii? I don't know. So I was like, hey, I can ask my dad and see what he says. And so I talked to my dad that night, and he's like, I got this title, this old beat up boat. It's worth like $2,000. It's paid off though. That's about the only thing I have that's paid off. And I'm like, okay. So I take it back to my boss, and I'm like, here's what we got to give you. I know it's nowhere near what you need, but it's something. It's something that we have on the line. And he's like, yeah. He's like, we'll do it. We just want you to have some skin in the game or something, And they just kind of gave me a loan on a whim. I mean, they gave probably a 19 or 20-year-old kid at the time tens of thousands of dollars to buy a business that he didn't know a damn thing about. It was like a horrible idea, but I was really, really fortunate, to be honest with you. I mean, again, I don't come from a background that you would think, I would have an opportunity like that. So it was really cool. So we got the loan for that, and then went down and bought it, me and my dad, and went down to Lexington, Kentucky. And it was actually in this guy's garage. He had this garage. He had like this really tall garage next to his house. Then you go inside of it, and then there's like this insulated. There's like a room inside of the garage that's like it's like a house inside of a garage. It's really weird.
Inside of a garage.
Like insulated, had a roof. Like you were kind of scared to go inside of the box because you didn't know what was in it. So we pull up and we go inside of there, and then he just has like wall-to-wall fish tanks. Like you go in like a fish store, and there's fish tanks everywhere. Same exact.
How many fish tanks do you recall? If you had to guess a number, how many of the fish tanks were in there?
Be honest with you, I bet you there was only like. I mean, I don't know if this seems small or big to you, but there's only like 40. It wasn't really that many.
Oh wow!
All the 20-gallon tanks.
It was 10 gallons, 20 gallons, 55 gallons.
So it was just completely a cornucopia of different fish tanks in there.
Yeah, it was weird. So I go in there, and he has all these fish tanks, and I was like, okay. And then part of the deal was we bought the business, and I gave him a check. He would transfer the website to my name, which I didn't know what that meant or how to do that. So I just gave the guy a check, and he could have totally just like not gave me the website. I would have been in trouble, which I was terrified of at the time. But he was also terrified that the check I was holding was no good. So he gave it to his wife. And while we're sitting at his dinner table talking about the website, he had his wife go to the bank to make sure the check was good.
Oh,
So I was like, okay, fair enough.
yeah. You're like, all right, I'm 20 and I don't know anything about shrimp, and I'm okay, yeah.
He was the whole time I'm driving up there. I told him I was coming. I didn't tell my dad was coming with me, so he was real weirded out when there was like two guys that got out in the front of his driveway, which I don't know why, but he was just like, I thought it was just you, and I'm like, well, I'm sorry.
Hi, it's my dad.
It's just my dad.
He drove me here, actually. I don't have a driver's license yet.
Yeah, I'm only 12. I can't move these 40 tanks by myself. No. So, we got all that going.
You had to transport the tanks up here?
Yeah, that's the crazy part. So we got this little U-Haul trailer, and I had to move all 40. I had to empty all 40 of these aquariums, put all these shrimp that he had in stock in bags and inside of a box. And then I had to somehow figure out how to get all these tanks back to Bloomington, Illinois, like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 hours away without all of them breaking, because I didn't have any more money to my name because I just got a loan for all the money I had. So if one of these things breaks, I'm just like, I don't know what I'm going to do. So we loaded it all up, drove all the way back here, and the whole time we're driving back, the website's in my name now. Everything's like pointed to where it needs to, and I'm just terrified. I'm waiting for that first sale to come in. I'm just like, oh my god, like, does he even do what he says? You're thinking it's all fake. Like, did he really do all these sales? Is this all just made up, make believe? Did I just get like $20,000 for like two fish tanks, or what did I do here? Anyway, so we get back, and on the way home we get that first sale, and it was like that's where it just dawned on me. I'm like, this is awesome. I just sold like $20 worth of shrimp. I still don't know how I'm going to ship up. This is great. I didn't do anything. I just like had it pointed to my name, and I was just happy.
Wow.
So we get it all back here, set it all up, and again, at this point, I don't know anything about shrimp at all. Like, I mean, I do. Obviously, I had to research it, but like, had I successfully kept shrimp alive? No, not even like close.
Didn't he die during transport, Ryan?
What's that?
Didn't he die during transport?
No, actually not. No, that's not. We had one aquarium break, but we didn't have any fish tanks or shrimp die.
Nice.
Yeah, so we get them all back here, and then and then to backtrack a little bit, so I had to rent an office space because I had to put these somewhere. So we had to rent this office space, and I just happened to rent from the very bank I work at. Upstairs, they had this office space, and I was like, hey, can I rent your office space? And they're like, hey, sure, we just gave you all this money. We should probably try and help you a little bit. So I rented the space. So I had to set up all these tanks beforehand before I got the shrimp. And so I set them up like 5 days before we went down to buy this business. And I come to find out that was like a huge no-no. Like you were supposed to have these set up like 30 days in advance.
Oh yeah.
If you don't, the tank's not going to be ready. Like the bacteria and all that stuff.
Yeah, the pH levels, bacteria. Yeah, there's a whole bunch to
Climatize.
So I get down there, and the guys we're talking, and he's like, yeah, how long you had your tank cycling is what it's called. And I'm like, oh, like, yeah, like I set them up on Friday. Like, he's like, oh, 4 days ago. And he's like, this is not good. He's like, yeah, you're going to have to, like, really, he's like telling me all this stuff I'm going to have to do. Otherwise, they're all going to die, like all 10,000 shrimp that I'm getting from them. And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, we'll do that. But anyways, so we get them all back over here to Bloomington. And then we have them all set up. We put them in there, and it actually goes really well. Like, we didn't really have a lot of hiccups. The shrimp didn't all die. It went really well. And then
you didn't have green water tanks or
green water. I hadn't flooded the bank yet to that point. That was below me, which we'll get into in a second. So it went really good. And then, then just kind of growing pains. Okay, how do we ship shrimp across the country? Because that's what it is. It's an online business. We ship pet shrimp all over the country, and we have to get them there.
Real quick right there, Ryan. Hold on. So we would go to a website. We would look up, because I went to the website, and I saw some shrimp on there. And of course, to someone like me, some novice, some lame guy, I look at them and they look snazzy, man. But someone's going on there and picking out shrimp like they go and pick out chocolate.
A puppy?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. And then you are putting those guys in some bags and shipping them.
Envelope.
No.
And shipping them?
Yeah, that's what we're doing. Yeah. And the crazy thing is, you're not going to eat them, right? So they have to get there alive because you don't want your pet to be dead.
Wait.
Okay, we're not
Hold
eating
on.
these shrimp.
We're not eating them. Nope.
We're not. Okay,
What are we doing with these shrimp?
We're putting them in aquariums to make your aquarium prettier.
Exactly.
Is that what we're doing?
Yep.
Okay, so these never get larger than the 1.5 inches that you mentioned earlier?
Maybe 2. No, the ones we sell, they don't. No, like 2 inches.
Wow.
Okay,
Crazy.
go ahead, Sandy.
They wouldn't even qualify as popcorn shrimp. They're so small.
Oh my god. So I'm not dipping little coconut shrimp in
No.
Okay, now is that because like I'm not sure how to ask this. I'm curious now because I only ever really understood that there were only shrimp that are fried, boiled,
Sauteed. They're shrimp.
gosh.
They're shrimp kebabs.
Jason Leach is hilarious. Hashtag shrimp pimp.
So how I don't know how to ask it, but what distinguishes those shrimp that I was thinking from your shrimp other than
So
pets?
it's a totally different world. So all right, so we're selling pet shrimp, and they are like neon colored. So they're like
I
every
saw
color
that.
under the rainbow. They're like yellow, green, blue, anything you can think of, red,
Okay.
multicolored. And they're dwarf. They're dwarf shrimp. So they're actually freshwater. So all the shrimp you guys eat are saltwater, right? They're coming out of the ocean or they're being farmed or something. These are all freshwater. They're okay. So the ones I sell aren't naturally found, but they come from shrimp that are naturally found in rivers and creeks in like Southeast Asia, like Taiwan, China, stuff like that. They're just naturally found, and then the Taiwan people and Chinese people over there and Asian people in general. I don't want to miss a country, but
Philippines.
they have selectively bred these shrimp over generations to be these wild colors, right? So they wouldn't naturally be like a neon yellow shrimp in a river. Like you're not going to step on a neon yellow shrimp when you're walking down in a Taiwan river.
Right.
You'd be a lot cooler if you did, though.
Yeah, it would be a lot. But they just kind of selectively bred them, kind of like dogs. Like everybody like if you want like a certain colored German Shepherd, right? Somebody bred that dog to have white German Shepherds or something like that.
You got white snake.
Yeah,
black snakes.
Right.
It's just somebody that spent a whole lot of time trying to make them breed all the same color. So they're dwarf shrimp. They're like nano shrimp. So another thing that's kind of related to the shrimp hobby is called aquascaping. So it's like you have like this aquarium and you have like all these cool plants. Like if you ever have a moment, Google aquascaping planted aquarium on Google, and you will have your mind blown at these underwater things. They look like you're in like a forest, but it's really like an aquarium underwater, and it's just so cool.
Oh, you know what?
Not to be confused with manscaping, people. Different.
I was like,
Different.
I'm like, instead of saying it, I'll go look up this aquascaping real quick. That's right. So I'm looking at these up real quick, and this is what they look like. These things look awesome, man. These things are so.
It's like bonsai trees underwater.
Exactly. That's literally so. Like you see that one right there on the left. That's a dead bonsai tree that they put an aquarium plant on, and that's what it is.
A dead bonsai, but it's that green.
Yeah, well, that one's a real. So they put a real aquarium plant on the dead bonsai to make it look like a tree
on it. Like people who don't have hair and they put wigs on top. Sandy, that bonsai tree's dead and it's got a wig on it. I gotcha. Man, these are awesome.
So this is why they buy your shrimp, because they want to add color.
It's related. So there's like a really big niche in the aquarium hobby for planted tanks and stuff like that, and then like shrimp go really good with planted tanks. Because the cool thing about these shrimp, so if anybody's ever had a fish tank, these shrimp eat algae, right? So the number one thing you hate about your fish tank is it gets dirty. There's algae everywhere. What do the shrimp eat? Algae. It's like a beautiful thing. They clean your tank for you. Of course, that's not perfect. You still got to clean it. But in retrospect, they literally clean your tank.
So if they don't do it right, you punish them.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, bad shrimp.
No, I'm just kidding.
Hey. We need to show the shrimp.
Okay.
That's where we need to go. Because
we're at 39 minutes.
Yeah.
So while you pull that up, Jason said, I envision massive herds of shrimp being wrangled by a SpongeBob on a seahorse on the bottom of the ocean. And he also said, are these stud shrimp? Who buys them? Red Lobster? I'm going to go with no on Red Lobster. Well, they might.
So do they send you live shrimp, or do you have or you breed them now because you don't have to?
Yeah, so we are, I would say that I probably actually buy 80% of the shrimp we sell, because honestly, I sell so many shrimp that I couldn't even justify breeding them at this point. Now with my current facility, I guess. So we only breed some of them.
Are you still at the bank?
What's that?
Are you still at the bank?
I still work at a bank, not that particular bank, but I work at another bank. Yep.
But is your office, your fish tanks, are they still at the bank?
Yeah, there's about 3,000 gallons of water above a bank right now.
Wow.
Directly above the vault. No,
wait. So I don't. Did you answer the question then? You don't breed them. You just order them wholesale now?
Yeah. So I breed maybe 30% of them, and then I
import.
Import about 70% of them in.
Oh, okay,
Wow.
okay.
Okay, so these are the type of shrimp that we're talking about. This is a
Can you
yellow
make that
neon. I
by any
can't make
chance?
it bigger. No.
Okay.
This is a yellow neon.
So all right. So I know it looks yellow, but it's actually an orange Riley. So yellow
That's
and
what I was
orange
gonna
is
say.
hard.
Tangerine,
Orange is
actually.
really hard. Once you see it, there's another photo of a yellow shrimp, then you'll be like, oh, I see the difference. It's an orange Riley.
Okay.
Orange
Can
Riley.
you make that bigger, Joe, or no? Does it not let you?
No, because I'm just looking at it through Facebook. So.
Oh, I just want to.
Oh wait, maybe I could do this. Let's see what I
I
can
thought
do.
there was a little scale up there at the top. While you're looking for that, Jason's asking.
No, I found it. I found it.
Okay. So what fish can be in the tanks with the shrimp?
So ideally, you don't have fish with shrimp because the shrimp are natural prey for most fish. So any fish that can fit a shrimp in its mouth is probably going to try at some point to eat it.
Okay.
It has to be like little bitty nano fish, otherwise it
So
doesn't.
like the guppies you were talking about earlier.
Yeah,
Or the minnows, even minnows.
The guppies get kind of nippy. So like you wouldn't want to put like a big shark in here with them. They would be very expensive.
You'd be like, where'd all my shrimp go?
Look at all these colors.
Look at
Oh
that.
my god.
So we have yellow and green
Is that
and
blue?
red and blue.
Yep.
That's blue right there. So
And they are tiny.
They
are.
are. So do you sell them by the individual or by the?
We in our website we sell them by sets of 5 and 10.
Okay.
Depends on which one you're buying.
Oh, okay.
look
Okay.
how
So you sell the
that's
mom and the little
pretty.
daddy. Oh, that's pretty.
how hard are they to care
Okay,
for?
just for the record, I wouldn't want to eat these goldfish. I mean, these shrimp.
They're not very hard to care for. It's just a different way of thinking about how to care for them, but it's not hard. It's just you got to do a couple
That's what I
different
was thinking, Jason. Thank you. I was thinking Tetra.
small nickel tetras. Yeah.
Tetris.
So that's a green one there.
Oh, I saw these. So, Joe, can you zoom in on those little
No,
things?
I'm zoomed.
So what they're on right now is literally a product called the shrimp lollipop. It's actually algae that's dried on a stick, and then you put it in the aquarium.
That's a shrimp pole.
The shrimp go all over it. It's crazy.
Wow.
Y'all need to simmer down. This is a PG-13 show. You can't show that on here. Ryan, come on.
Did they not tell you? This is how shrimp make money. Shrimp.
And what are the names of these shrimps?
Those are crystal black shrimp.
Oh, they even call Cristal, aren't they? Look at that.
Right. And coming to the stage, Crystal Black.
That's really good. That is so cool. And these are red. So these are
Reds.
crystal red. Okay.
Oh, my God. That's so awesome.
Look at this shrimp shish kebab.
Eat that.
Those are yellow.
Oh my.
Those are that's like yellow.
Don't eat the pink water or the yellow water.
Yeah.
Mm.
So how do you ship them then?
You use a special bag. It's a breathable bag, so it lets oxygen in and CO2 out while it still keeps water in. It's really cool. It's cool technology. And then you check the weather everywhere they're going, and you put them in a box with like foam or insulation. And sometimes you have to use a heat pad because you might ship to Alaska in the dead of winter, or you might need an ice pack because you're shipping to Death Valley, California in the heat of the summer. So it just kind of depends on where.
Wow.
So there's more to it than just stuffing them in a box or in a plastic bag. You got to kind of know the path they're going to take.
It is tedious to ship shrimp and make sure they get there alive. Yep.
So what's your
Oh, go ahead.
your shipping time? Is it like a 2-day, a 3-day? What's the
Yeah, so you would think it'd be really quick. We ship it through priority mail through the post office. It usually takes 2 or 3 days. I've had some that have taken 2 weeks and they're all alive, and then I've had some overnighted and they all died. It's just
what the
how does that work?
Oh, no. Are you serious, Ryan?
Oh yeah.
Carrie says, showed up in time to hear shrimp lollipop.
Have you ever seen any of your
Whoa.
packages be like thrown to on the porch like
On the
I haven't
ring.
seen them thrown, but I've seen some real beat up pictures from customers that aren't happy with the box is crushed in half. But
You're like, I didn't deliver that. You gotta believe I would not do that. Okay, I
Right,
promise. You know, I just shipped that off from my house like that. Yeah, that's exactly no.
That's so
This is
cool
a
how
really
their
cool
body
looking-
is like transparent, so you can
yeah,
see
so,
the.
so like the cool thing
Lucy.
about the shrimp hobby is like there's always new stuff coming out. So this is like a newer shrimp. It's called the Red Robin Hood. You know, because it's
Oh.
clear on the head and it's clear on the back, and that's like a new shrimp that someone bred, and now it's readily available in the hobby. couple years ago. Yep.
Wow.
So
Wow.
Ryan, I'm really big into snakes, and it's so funny to see the similarities between the two, like what you're talking about, because that's what they do in snakes too. When they breed certain ones with genetics, and they've got it all figured out, and they're like, "We've been breeding this. We're hoping to see something here in the next 5-10 years," and then all of a sudden you see this purple thing come out, and you're like, "Holy crap! It's the world's first purple snake!" And it's like, what in the world?
Man, if you could make a purple shrimp, we would all be millionaires. People would love purple shrimp. That's the one color they don't have, purple.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
This looks more like a
A
crawdad.
lobster.
Yellow. And you
Look,
can
look at
see,
That one looks
Spring.
pregnant.
If you look, yeah, it's holding its eggs underneath it. Those little round things right there.
Sandy, you are good. You might have a future.
Just
in
don't ever
shrimp
ask a
farming.
woman. Right.
never ask a woman.
Okay, what's this? What do we got
All
here?
right, so like shrimp, it's like dog breeding. They're real so you can grade shrimp. So there might be a
Oh
shrimp called the
my.
cherry shrimp, and it might be like a low quality one all the way up to a high quality one. So as you can see, like a cherry grade's like a lower one. It's not as red, but it's still a cherry shrimp. Versus like a painted fire red, where it's this dark, solid red color. And that one is worth more money just because it's more red. You know, the little cherry
Really?
might be worth 99 cents, where the painted fire red might be worth $3.
Oh.
It seems like it would have been the opposite way. It would look like to me, just because I feel like the red ones are a little bit more populated. What I'm trying to say, like
Yeah,
more.
this is by
available.
far the most popular shrimp we sell is the cherry shrimp. I sell these 10 to 1 all day.
Okay, okay.
Wow.
And the $3. What does your farm have? More majority of a certain one, or is it just kind of sparse?
I have the grade AA, which is like the third one on the top on the right there.
Okay.
That is,
Uh-huh.
that's the one we sell the most of. Yeah.
Look at that, Joe. It's high sakura. Joe and I watch anime, and that's the
Yeah.
name that we see, and that's the sakura trees also. And now that's kind of funny, the coloring.
I think they also have a sushi roll that's a sakura.
Are you hungry?
Did you see what she ate today, Ryan? Did you see earlier what we
I
posted?
did. I was
Okay,
I was a little offended.
Oh, Stan.
I was just doing my homework, Ryan.
Apologize,
Right,
Ryan.
right.
We apologize.
Funny, I have to say this now since we're talking about it. My fiance that I've been with for over 11 years is deathly allergic to shellfish and shrimp.
Oh, right
So
here.
it's kind of ironic that I make all this money doing a shrimp farm, and she is deathly allergic to them. Like
She will never help you.
that her throat starts to swell shut. It's that bad.
Ryan, so that's how Joe is. But you know what? You touched on something now. I don't know if you said no question was off limits.
Hurry, because I have a comment and I don't want to forget.
How much money does a shrimp farm make a person?
Make a person? Oh man!
Can you give us any? Like, are we making more than 20,000 a year? Are we making under $1 million? Or, I don't know. What you feel comfortable sharing?
I quit everything I do. So I'm a banker. I own rental property. I have a limousine company. I have a golf company. I could quit everything I do and just do the shrimp farm, which only requires me to work about 2 days a week and answer emails all week, and I could be just fine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is awesome.
Walking away right now.
Like I wouldn't even be sweating anything if I did that. Honestly, that's how much money it is.
Wow.
That is nuts to me. You're hearing it here, people. Shrimping business.
Shrimp Keeping 101. So is this like a education page on your website?
So I've actually been flown all over the country and present about shrimp all the time. So I'm in Illinois by Chicago, basically, and I've been flown to like Connecticut. I'm speaking in Kentucky. I'm speaking in Kansas City, Missouri. I get flown out on their dime. I get put up in a hotel. I get food. I get all this cool stuff just to spend like 2 hours talking about pet shrimp.
Oh my gosh.
Who's paying for this? Like, tell me the conventions or whatever.
These fish clubs, they just like have all kinds of money, I guess. I don't know. It's crazy.
You know what? So I'm going to take a side real quick. I imagine fish, when you say fish clubs now, I'm like, yeah, I kind of picture a bougie group of people who do that. Like my previous director, he was bankrolling. I'm not going to lie. He was bankrolling, but he had a glorious not shrimp, but saltwater aquariums, huge.
Cool.
So I kind of imagine what you're saying. I'm like, yeah, these people have money.
Okay, so the clubs they do, but to be honest with you, the people that are in these clubs are really down to earth and like cool people, and a lot of times those
Yeah.
have like little kids that are just getting into it, and it's actually really fulfilling to go to these places and have all these kids that want to talk to you about shrimp, and it's just really.
Oh, I'm praising you, man. I am not like downy. I'm thinking like
No,
I'm
that's
glad.
just amazing.
That
Yeah,
is
like,
so
this is-
crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy for us because it's not the world that we're in all the time, Ryan.
Yeah.
But to hear from an expert in that, that's cool to know, man.
All right, so we got a drum roll. We have to have a drum roll for this picture of this shrimp
Okay.
right here.
Drum
Hold on,
roll.
real quick.
Because
Hold on.
So
I can't get you a drum roll, but I can get you a
Give me some.
about as good as I can get right now.
I like it.
Okay.
So all right,
no.
so we got all
Here's
this
this
cool
one. I got
names
this
for
one.
shrimp.
There you go.
All right.
I think that's better than a drum roll, right?
Right.
That works
Yeah.
out okay.
Okay.
All right. There we go.
So they have all these cool names. This one is called a blue metallic boa. Sounds cool, right?
Blue metallic
It
boa.
sounds expensive because it is.
Yes, it is.
So think of it like dog. So I'm trying to relate it to people. So think of like dog breeding, right? If someone could make this really cool dog, like in this color, like a purple German Shepherd, like no one could make a purple German Shepherd, and this guy did it, right? So
Right,
there's
yeah.
only like one guy that knows how to do it, and he's going to start selling them. So it's just like that in the shrimp hobby. Someone figures out how to make something really cool, and it's all about supply and demand. So somebody knows how to make these blue metallic boas, and one shrimp that's not even 2 inches long sells for $1,485.
Oh,
How much?
Wild.
14
$1,485
Yes.
and
it's so
75
crazy.
cents.
plus shipping.
Plus shipping.
Right.
Are you
It is
serious? For
so
one of
crazy.
those
I
guys?
just told you those little cherry shrimp I sold cost me 99 cents, right?
Yes.
It's nuts.
That is
Oh my
crazy.
gosh.
And it's all because somebody knows how to breed it. And then the craziest thing about that, so it costs $1,400, and you're like, oh, I'm going to buy it and breed them. 99% of the babies are not even going to look like that. They're not even going to look close to that. They're not even going to be worth $1,400.
You got to
Oh.
check paternity.
It's so crazy.
No, it's genetic. It's like I was saying earlier, Ryan. Like I've watched people in snakes, and I've understood very novice how they breed certain ones to make other ones. And yeah, you got to have genetics right. Like you have recessive genes, and then you have the I can't remember what you call them, but the ones that are always plain. And you got to make a certain combination of those bad boys to make a certain species and have the color and the shape that they have on their bodies.
I know.
So I
it's
could
so
totally
wild.
see this guy has I mean, like you said, he probably has, man, that is
Ryan?
crazy.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to pay you $1,485.75, how long is this going to last? Like I'm going to need it to live 1,400 years.
So the lifespan of a shrimp is an average of 2 years.
Oh my gosh.
Hold on. They breed like rabbits. So you'll have like 50,000 of them before you know it. But in this particular case, they will not be worth $1,400 each. They
Uh,
worth money.
Are they going to be worth like $5 since they came?
Yeah, maybe like $450, something like that.
wow.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, look, this one's prego.
There's
You can see it.
Legos. Oh my goodness.
They're all pregnant almost.
These two are. This one's not.
No,
This
the
is-
one in the back.
That one just ate another shrimp.
So, Ryan, we have to ask you about this. What?
What is this? What is this?
There's a competition for shrimp.
Like the Westminster Dog Show, right? That was on
Yes.
Thanksgiving. We have international shrimp competitions, and we have them all over the world. They have them in Germany, they have them in Taiwan, China, Netherlands, and here in the United States more recently. And we went to it, and this was actually in I'm gonna butcher. It's like Secaucus, New Jersey. I'm gonna butcher that name. It's in New Jersey.
Caucus sounds good.
Yeah, there you go. So they had a big aquarium expo, and we were there with a booth, and then we entered some shrimp that we actually bred, and we actually won. And this was like wild for me because this is the first time we really entered, and there's like people that flew in from like Taiwan and like Germany to just enter their shrimp. Like they weren't coming for any other reason besides enter their shrimp. So they flew halfway across the world, and then I end up winning in some categories and placing, and it was just wild. It was really awesome.
Wow. So
How many
are these?
categories
Oh
are
my
there?
gosh.
Yeah. Okay, so those ones they got first place. If you go back 2 pictures to the red one,
This one?
yeah. So that was another. So those guys won, and then the ones you just looked at won, and then
Okay, so
one.
what do they judge them on? Like what's the categories?
Yeah, so it's like a dog show. So they have judges, and then they grade them on sizing, coloration.
You put them on a leash and prance them around?
Yeah. Yeah, put a little leash on them and they're walking down the aisle.
Oh my goodness, Sandy.
Agility. That is just amazing to me. Oh my gosh, never.
I am a shrimp judge. You didn't know that, but I'm a shrimp judge. Could you imagine meeting that? It's so crazy to me. It's so crazy.
I mean, Ryan, I'm seriously, I'm loving your world. This is just so amazing to me.
We're definitely gonna have to get this. I want to get one for my
I want a pet
desk.
shrimp now, like
Right,
just a small one.
Oh, you only have a time commitment of 2 years for it, so that's
I
can
know,
do that.
right? I can do
do
2
that.
years.
Oh, are they
Oh
social,
my goodness!
are they
Look
social
at this,
butterflies?
the swimsuit competition.
So Ryan, tell us if we want to get into this world, what's the easiest way, and what would you suggest for people that are not in this world? What would be the best way to start?
So the best way to start is you got to buy I would always say start with at least a 10-gallon aquarium. The smaller the aquarium is, the harder it is to keep everything in like the pH and all that stuff we were talking about earlier in check.
Mm-hmm.
So the more water you have in the tank, the easier it is to keep like balance, basically. So start with a 10-gallon tank. You go to like Petco or like PetSmart or whatever you have around you. A lot of times they have like $1 per gallon sales. So you get like a 10-gallon tank for like $10. Really good deal. And then depending on the type of shrimp you're going to keep, like if you're going to keep the ones in the photos, those are what I would consider easier to care for type shrimp. The only other iffy thing is your local water supply, like your tap water. Is it really good? Is it really hard? Is it really soft?
Hard.
If it's not like perfect for them, a lot of times like local mom and pop pet stores, they'll sell like special water called RO water, which is reverse osmosis water.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually RODI water, which is just basically it's like purified water. So think of water with like all these minerals in it, and then you take like every single mineral out of it, more or less, and then you only add back in what you need for shrimp. So that makes your water safe.
Okay.
So if tap water's not good, you can go to the pet store and do that and buy these special minerals. And then really you just need like an aquarium plant. You throw some shrimp in there and have a little filter that they don't get sucked up into.
Oh my god.
You're good to go, really. It's
So you don't need. So you don't want them with any other fish. You just want the shrimp.
Not if you want them to like breed and be the focus, because the shrimp are going to eat the baby shrimp, and then if they can eat the adult shrimp, they're probably going to try.
Those cannibals.
Yeah.
Look
With
at
the
this
shrimp.
is a good question. How do you keep shrimp from overpopulating your tank?
So they produce
too
such
wide.
little waste. So people always ask me all the time, how many shrimp can I put in a 10-gallon aquarium? And quite frankly, you could put like several hundred, like 300, 400 shrimp in this tank. And you're going to look at it and it's going to be like, oh my God, there's so many in there. It's so overpopulated. It's not, because they produce such little waste and they clean. As long as you're doing general husbandry. So you're cleaning your tank, you're changing the water, you're feeding them.
One shrimp poop is another shrimp's treasure.
There you go.
That's their motto.
So it's really hard to overpopulate the tank. Is what you're saying?
Yep.
You're in town, aren't you, Ryan?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, Jamie, you need to get you a shrimp tank.
$285.
You might see one over here sometime later, guys. I'm just
Oh
saying.
man,
I might. I'm
Put it in perspective on like how much it costs to start a shrimp tank. I would say like if you want to do it right, $100-$150, and you could be in it and you'd be in good shape.
Ryan, if you sponsor us with a fish tank over here,
Right.
I'll make sure people know every time you get one of these guys from Ryan's Shrimp Farm, guys, right here, and then you can showcase new shrimp in there every time here on the show. Okay?
That's just so crazy to me.
Ryan, do you have your own pet fish tank? Like that you keep in your house?
You have your $1,400 shrimp.
So the funny thing, I'm 26 years old and I just bought my first house. And
Congratulations! Welcome to the club.
Yeah, and I started all these businesses and I lived at home the whole time. Like I had like all this rental property and stuff, and I still lived with my mom and dad.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it.
So I just moved into my first house, and I'm actually in the process of setting up some new tanks here. So yeah.
That is
Awesome.
So there's some comments I want to get to
Yes.
also real quick.
So is there any shrimp food that we have to get, or the algae will just build up on its own and they'll start eating that, or is there actual shrimp
you
food?
just throw little pieces
So
in
if
there.
you're gonna do it right, there is specific shrimp food. They naturally eat algae, but you can always feed them like specific shrimp food for sure.
Okay.
All right. So here Carrie's yelling. She just yelled across my house, "Matt, you gotta quit the railroad and go into shrimp." He shakes his head at me. Carrie she's been listening for a long time. She is in down there in Lubbock, Texas, also. Matt loves Jack Dempsey fish. He needs to love shrimp. This kind of alludes to what you were saying earlier, Joe. Anita's saying, I'm starting my shrimp company tomorrow. I need to hire Bubba and Forrest Gump. Just saying.
How many times do you hear that, Ryan?
Every single time I talk about shrimp, shrimp jambalaya.
Right. Every time.
This guy's favorite movie of all time is that movie. So
Yes, I love
I'm
it.
surprised he hasn't said anything about it though in reference.
No,
to
I did do the shrimp kebabs and shrimp.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
those look like some 14, 50, 75 awards right there. Mark is telling you live in the dream. And then, here's Carrie. She's saying, how much would you pay a photographer to provide you a for sale portfolio? Asking for a friend. Hashtag iPhone Joe.
And Jason back here, I don't think he caught the size.
What?
You said how big do they get?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, about 2 inches and max. Sometimes they'll be a little bit smaller, but 2 inches max.
Can you? Are there no shrimp between the 2-inch max and the next guy?
Yeah, there's like some specialty shrimp. They're like called, if you Google like bamboo shrimp, those guys get like 4 or 5 inches long. They're like more traditional. But
Ryan, are you gonna get a mantis shrimp?
I am not.
Dude, those things are insane. Have y'all, Joe, Sandy? Have y'all seen those?
Okay, so I bought a really big one time to eat, and it ooged me out, so I didn't.
Geez.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't even know you could buy them to eat.
Yeah, they have them. Well, I don't know if they're whatever you're saying, but they have them in the frozen fish section or the fresh fish section.
so tell me about the mantis shrimp then.
You want to tell
Right.
him, Ryan, since you're the shrimp guy?
You need to show them a picture of it. Is what you need.
Okay, you tell him about it while I pull up a picture. How about that?
So it's a saltwater shrimp. It's not a freshwater shrimp, so it's totally different. And I don't even know how to describe it really. So I've never had one. It's always talked about in the aquarium hobby just because they're so freakishly looking. Here we go.
Oh my gosh, is that real?
That is
Yes.
real.
But get this,
That's
guys.
how
So,
colorful they are.
That guy's like at least 5-6 inches long, probably, maybe a
Okay,
little bit smaller, but
you
he's
see these
definitely
little-
not shrimp I saw.
you see these little things right here?
I see his googly eyes.
Okay, look down further. Okay, these are basically like it's hammer claws. Guys, these shrimp have little claws that spring forth. The stats on them are fantastic. These things break the sound barrier underwater.
What?
The area around their claws get hotter than the sun because the speed that it's going in the shortest amount of time and distance creates a vacuum underwater. And so they have you can put nearly any animal that you would think is a predator in there. These mantis shrimp are aggressive. They'll be in their little hole and like a crab will come out or lobster will come out. They'll run out to it and then they'll play pinochle with it. And anywhere those little things hit, like you'll see videos and a crab's arm will just go flying off.
Oh my
Body.
god!
And
So
you'll see,
that's
like,
why Ryan doesn't want one.
Right, it'll destroy his shrimp.
Yeah,
thing.
if you mess up. So people who have them, they're like, yeah, we have to keep them in special areas because if you mess up when you're walking by them and they perceive you as a threat, they'll walk to the window and snap it, they shatter the entire glass.
Oh my gosh,
These
that
things
is
are
nuts.
bad boys. You can go on YouTube, just look up mantis shrimp, and you'll see the craziness that it revolves around these shrimp. These things
Okay.
are no
Wow.
joke,
Wow.
but they are beautiful, alien-looking things.
They look
But
like
they're-
caterpillars.
But they're
Uh,
definitely deadly.
Okay. All right. So Ryan, what What is the next step for you then? Where do you
What
see
other
yourself?
businesses?
Yeah, I know. I want to stay with just the shrimp thing. I was like, how? Where do you see the shrimp business going?
So to be honest with you, every single year I've owned it, we've about doubled in sales. It's pretty wild. It's really just a great business. So the kicker, I only have to work like 2 days a week. We only ship 2 days a week because we ship through the post office. It takes 2 or 3 days to get to someone's house, right? So if I ship on a Saturday or a Friday, that's not good because it's not going to move anywhere, right? Because it's the weekend.
Right.
So I only ship on Monday and Tuesday, unless it's an overnight, which that's a different story. But mainly 2 days a week, and I answer email. So it's really low maintenance business, and it's just doubled.
And ordering, right? You're ordering stuff.
Yeah. Yep. And then so this year's obviously a little different out there, and it's actually been really good for my business. And we've actually done way more in sales than I could ever imagine. Like 1 month, we did as much in sales as we did in like 6 months last year.
Wow!
Congratulations, man!
If you want to talk about stressful trying to ship shrimp in that many at that capacity, it is just nuts.
And it's just you, Ryan?
No. So it's me and my dad, and we have quite a bit of help. So yeah.
Okay, all right. Man, when everything lifts, I hope you let me come take a look at the farm.
Yeah, it's open. It's open by appointment because I have a lot going on, so we don't have hours, and it's mainly an online store.
Jamie, you need to do a field report.
That would be so cool. Yes,
Man. When you go by, you get ready for your tank.
Yeah,
There you go.
Ryan, man, time flies. This has been.
that's where the tank.
You've lived up to what I was expecting, so I was really hyped about having you on the show, and it's just been awesome. You've answered the questions, and now I want a shrimp farm.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Everyone, I hope you appreciate what I've done for y'all. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ryan, for taking the time to come tell us about your business.
Thanks for
I was
having me.
talking to Ryan.
Yeah.
No respect. I'm just playing, Ryan. Yeah, I really appreciate you coming on, man. I was hoping that it was going to be grandiose, and I can definitely say I'm not walking away with this feeling whatever it is. Thank you, Sandy. Yes, exactly. Unfulfilled. So I really appreciate that. There's so much more. Like, you definitely have other pieces that we didn't get to delve into as much, but we wanted to definitely delve into the shrimp place because, I mean, who do you run into who does that?
Right.
It's so niche, and so it's so cool, man.
That's so cool. It is really cool. It's really cool.
No, I appreciate being on here. I love talking about business, and I love talking about the shrimp farm. It's always a hot topic. So
Nice.
Awesome.
So give him his time.
Sure. We want to give you some a moment to take over the screen and share with everyone whatever it is you want to share with. You got your wife's favorite chocolate chip cookie, your mom's favorite memory of your mom, whatever it is. Just share it on here, and we will let you have it.
Sure. So I could sit here all day and talk about, you should go to the shrimpfarm.com and check out my shrimp, and I could go into all that stuff. And but quite frankly, I'm really lucky to be where I'm at in my life, and been really lucky with business and just in life in general. I like to say I'm a really lucky guy. But if anyone's ever out there and you're interested in starting a business, or maybe and you just can't figure out a way, how could I have enough money to start this business? I can't even afford to pay rent, or can't afford to do this or that, or I went bankrupt last year, and I don't have the money, I don't have the time. I have a huge family, I can't do this. But what I'll say to you guys is, just do what you can, try and strive for your goals, and put people around you that are going to better yourself. If you don't know how to do something, go out there and find somebody that does and ask them for advice. People are a lot more approachable than you think when you ask them about something they're passionate about. If you ask me about anything about business, I'll sit here all day and I can tell you how to ship, how to do an e-commerce business. I can tell you how to get a loan at a bank. I can tell you how to start a limousine company. I can tell you how to run rental property, how to flip houses, all this stuff. And I would gladly talk to you without question just how to do that, just because I'm passionate about it, and that's just the right thing to do. People need to help people out, especially in tough times. And again, I could sit here and pitch my own business, but I'm just telling you guys, go out there and do what you can, start your own dreams, and you'll be surprised where it can take you. That's what I got.
Thank you so much, Ryan. I want to start a business now.
Shrimp farming?
That was awesome. Thank
Shrimp
you
farm
for that.
There you go. Yeah, Shrimp Farm
Yes,
Sandy. That'll be your nickname, Shrimp Farm Sandy.
shrimp farm Sandy.
I like it. That was such a positive message. Well, Ryan, again, we just want to say thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for staying up late and chatting with us and showing us your one of your I don't know if I should say project or passions or both or whatever, but
Passions. One of his
um,
passions.
okay, thanks. So yeah, we're gonna stick you in the green room, Ryan, and don't go anywhere. Let's hang out after the show's over. But again, thanks for coming on tonight. Okay.
Thank you
I
so much,
appreciate it.
Ryan.
Thanks for having me. I hope I entertained you all.
Oh yeah,
You
absolutely.
did.
All right. We'll talk to you
Thanks.
in a minute. Okay.
Look at
Man,
this.
That was
Two
awesome.
good shows in a row. How are you going to keep this rolling?
I don't know. Well, luckily it's the end of the week, so
Yeah.
Two good
Maybe
shows.
I'll forget by next
I feel
Monday.
like it's been kind of like 150 plus good shows. Let's talk about them.
man, this blew my mind. This was like the cologne guy.
Cologne guy.
Yeah, this is the
Yes.
same feeling that I have having
We were
this guy.
all smiling. Like there was nonstop smiling. It's like,
Just like
okay, because this is something that I've never heard of. Never heard of pet
Yeah.
shrimp. Never heard of anyone owning a business. This just a whole new world that he opened up for us. And I love that.
I do too. I can tell you, like, I'm glad that he's up here because I can go see and take a look at everything.
yeah.
I'm excited about that part.
you need to go
So,
check him out for sure. I am actually on the website and I'm just like, which one am I going to start with?
Right.
And
This
then-
red one goes with this blue one.
Right, exactly.
What's the website again, Joe?
It's the shrimpfarm.com. And I'm like, oh, this
CPJ,
one
you
looks
do have to go back.
yeah. I'm like, oh, this one looks good, but it's out of stock. But they're $120 shrimp. So I'm like,
Wow. That's amazing.
wow, man.
Shrimpfarm.com.
Yeah,
Look at
it's
CPJ said maybe we should get our kids shrimp farms for Christmas and see where we're all sitting next year.
yeah. See who's got an empty aquarium or who's
Yeah.
got
I'm gonna
200.
show you right now. I'm gonna be like, Ryan, ours only stayed alive for 6 months. Really weird. Warranty on these suckers.
Oh, so it's that time for us to pull out our phones, right, Mr. Pineapples?
Yes, it is. Thank you, Joe.
Here.
All right, everyone. So if you could pull out your phone, and I know I sound like I'm beating a dead horse, but guys, this is going
Don't be
for a
trying
great
to send me
cause.
no more bills.
Open up your Venmo accounts, okay? Go into there where it says pay or request at the bottom. There's a big blue button if you're on Android. And
Oh,
then
one of my friends bought Whataburger.
I wonder who that was, huh? So hit the at button and then type in and you should see the Pineapple Project show up. And guys, donate whatever your heart's telling you to do. I say $1 just because I don't know what else to say. But if your heart is telling you got paid this past Friday or yesterday or something like that, or you didn't go get that coffee, hit that amount in there, okay? Hit that dollar amount in there, and then put in there it's Christmas is for kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then just hit that pay button right there.
Oh, I forgot that I bought a cotton-headed Ninny Muggins. I was like, who bought that as me?
So put
Yeah.
that in there, and guys, remember all the money that we're collecting here. Gabby, if you're watching, if you could tell us how much we have, that'd be great. Again, it's going back to give gifts for the kids in the foster in the
foster care system. Yeah.
Thanks, Joe. In the foster care system in Lubbock, Texas. Remember, you can take any toy from birth to 12 years of age and drop it at any of the comic cleaners around town. If that's for birth to 12, 13 to 18, we're asking for gift cards for those older kids so that they can go and get whatever they want. Get them to places like the Whataburger, Wiener Schnitzel, Walmart, Hot Topic. I don't know if Hot Topic is still a thing, whatever. But you see what I'm saying? Whatever the teens kind of want. That way they can go buy their own stuff. You can drop them there and the comic cleaners. Sorry. If you have a toy at home and you want us to come pick it up, let us know. Just ping one of us in Messenger, and we will send out one of our pineapple elves to go pick it up from you guys. Or if you just want to do old-fashioned money, send it to us through Venmo. We are also going to be having a pineapple thon coming up very soon. We're going to have past guests come on, and invite their friends and family, and hopefully get others to donate, their friends and family to donate to the Pineapple Project. And then the weekend of December 20th, we're going to go out and start buying all the gifts that we have in the account. So that way we can just basically stack the gift boxes for the kids, and the Christmas is for Kids organization. They will start distributing those out to the kids for Christmas Day. Okay.
Yep.
All right, Joe, what do we got next too? What's happening now?
No, this is the end of our week. We're done.
That's right. We got. Do you want to tell everyone what's coming up though? Actually, we do have some. Next week is our last week. We're going on Christmas break after that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We are going on Christmas break, and that's all I know.
I didn't even know that. What did we decide?
Yeah.
You were supposed to tell her what's going on here.
Was I? I took a nap. God. So, and then also the old joke. I wasn't happy. About
now
that,
it's convenient for him.
Also, he forgot to tell me.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyhow, I am spending a couple more seconds right here. Oh, got it. So, everyone, we love you. Thanks for hanging out with us. We will see you next week, as we've got some pretty exciting guests lined up. We've got an artist coming on next week to showcase some of his work, and I'm going to save the other one for y'all until I can get it confirmed. So, anyhow, we love you guys, and as usual,
remember to wash your hands
for at least 20 seconds.
You filthy animals.
Have a good night, everyone.
Have a good weekend.
Merry Christmas.
Bye, shrimp.
Toodle.
It's the social undistancing show. How did you not know? How did you not know? It's the social undistancing show. How did you not know? How did you not know? It's the social undistancing show. How did you not know? How did you not know? It's the social undistancing show. How did you not know? How did you not know?